Hey there, founders who keep hiring more people but still feel buried. This one's for you. My name is Mark Scala. I'm Amazon bestselling author and fractional CMO, COO. And what I do is I help founders build systems at scale so that you can grow revenue, regain control, and get your life back. If that sounds like what you're chasing, give the video a like and hit follow. And if you're ready to talk about fixing your structure for real in your business, hit the link in my bio to schedule a clarity call. So let's talk about a pattern that quietly kills growth for so many businesses. Hiring help when what you actually need is capacity. And every founder does it at some point. You hit a wall, the workload feels impossible, and your first thought is, I need more people. So you post a job, you make a hire, and for a few weeks it feels better. But somehow, a few months later, you're right back where you started, just now with a bigger payroll, because you didn't solve the real problem. You didn't fix the system. You just multiplied the chaos. Here's the thing. More hires won't fix a broken design, because when you add people to a structure that's already inefficient, all you do is spread the inefficiency across more desks. Hiring is supposed to give you leverage, not layers. But if you don't build capacity first, every new employee just adds more noise, more complexity, and more things that still flow back to you. I've seen founders turn a 5-person problem into a 20-person nightmare, and then wonder why their stress keeps growing faster than their revenue. It's because the problem isn't your people, it's your process. If you've ever caught yourself saying, I just need a better team, then there's a good chance the real issue isn't the team. It's a lack of framework for them to succeed inside of. People can't perform inside a system that doesn't exist. You have to hire process before you hire people. Think about it like this. If your business were a factory and the conveyor belt was broken, would you hire more workers to move the boxes by hand, or would you fix the belt? Most founders just keep hiring more hands. They never fix the belt. And that's why they're constantly exhausted, carrying the same problems, only heavier. This reminds me of a founder I worked with that had a 12-person team but was still working 60-hour weeks. And he told me, I can't figure it out. I've got all this help, but nothing ever seems to get easier. And when we looked under the hood and behind the curtains, it became pretty obvious why. There were no clear systems, no documented processes, no consistency in how the work actually got done. Everyone was waiting on him for direction or approval or correction. And he didn't have a people problem. He had a design problem. The truth is, you don't scale by adding bodies, you scale by increasing throughput, the amount of value your business can produce with the same or fewer inputs. And that's what capacity really means, isn't it? Not headcount, it's output. And that's the difference between building a company that grows and building one that bloats. If every new hire feels like more management, not more freedom, you're growing in the wrong direction. Hiring should buy you time, not take it away. It should reduce your stress, not multiply it. And if it's doing the opposite, that's your sign that the system or systems can't support the structure that you're trying to build. So before you hire your next person, you have to ask a critical question. What problem am I actually solving? If the answer is my team's overworked or behind on deadlines, then that's not a hiring problem, that's a capacity problem. True capacity doesn't come from more people. It comes from better processes, clearer priorities, and smarter design. Okay, so how do you actually build capacity without just adding more people? Well, it starts with shifting how you define growth. Growth isn't about how many people you manage, it's about how efficiently your business can perform without you micromanaging. So there are 3 ways to build capacity that don't require another hire. Number 1 is standardize before you scale. Before you bring in anyone new, document exactly how your business runs today. Map out every repeatable process, how a customer is onboarded, how a project is approved, how an invoice gets paid. You don't need perfection here. You just need clarity. Because clarity creates consistency. And consistency is what allows you to scale without breaking. When your team knows how things work, they can handle 20% more volume without needing 20% more people. And that right there is capacity. Number 2, automate the repetitive. If something happens more than twice a week, it's probably time to automate it. There's no reason you should be manually sending the same reports or chasing the same approvals or tracking the same data every single day. Technology isn't just for efficiency, it's for sanity. And automation doesn't replace people, it replaces repetition. It frees your team to do more valuable work, the kind that requires human judgment and creativity, right? And number three is empower decision makers. If every small decision flows back to you, you're not leading, you're just babysitting. True capacity comes when your team can make decisions confidently within defined boundaries. And that means setting rules of engagement instead of approvals. As an example, instead of ask me before you discount, teach them the principles that define when a discount makes sense. When your people understand the reasoning behind the rules, they can act without constant permission. And that is how you multiply leadership instead of labor. You put these three things together, standardization, automation, and empowerment, you start building something scalable. You start increasing your output without increasing your input. And you realize that capacity doesn't come from headcount, it comes from design. Story time again. I did work with a founder before who ran a creative agency and kept hiring to keep up with the demand. Every quarter, she added more designers, then she needed to add more account managers, and every quarter, her profit margins shrank. Her stress went up, and her weekends disappeared. When we sat down together, we discovered that her production system was completely ad hoc. Every project was managed differently. Every client had a custom process, and every team member was reinventing the wheel. When we standardized how work flowed through the agency and automated her proposal and billing systems and created a simple project handoff checklist, within 90 days, her team of 10 was producing over 40% more work. And that was without hiring a single new person. Naturally, revenue grew, margins improved, and for the first time in years, she said the words every founder dreams of saying. I'm all caught up. That's what capacity feels like. It's the freedom to grow without grinding. It's the ability to say yes to opportunity without fear of everything collapsing. It's growth with breathing room. And that's the goal, not just to grow your business, but to build it in a way that can actually handle growth, right? All of this is exactly what I teach in my book, The Leverage Point, because founders don't fail for lack of help. They fail for lack of capacity. And the book gives you the tools to document your processes, to delegate outcomes, and design systems that scale. It shows you how to fix the belt before hiring more hands. And it's the blueprint for turning chaos into clarity. So here's the takeaway. Stop hiring to survive the week. Start building to scale the next 5 years. Hire process before you hire people. Fix design before you expand your headcount. And never forget, more bodies won't build a better business. Better systems will. Once again, I'm Mark Scala, and I help founders build systems that scale so you can grow revenue, regain control, and get your life back. If this message hit home, give it a like, hit follow, maybe share it with another founder who's drowning in help but starving for capacity. And if you're ready to finally fix the structure that's holding you back, grab a copy of my book, The Leverage Point, or book a clarity call using the link in my bio. Because the goal isn't to hire more hands, it's to build a business that runs without you.